It's time to de-jankify this engine bay. See, we've got this rope holding the hose off of the alternator. There's a little safety hose here too. There's wires everywhere. Zip tie chain holding the distributor wires off of the exhaust manifold. Plenty of other interesting things going on as well. First order of business is going to be to get this thing an exhaust system. I was hoping the current setup would be sort of like a homemade EGR. It is carbureted, but all it really does is just choke out the engine when the hood is down. So I'm going to be seeing if I can fabricate a little exhaust system. Thinking side exit, just come right up here, straight out like that. Same thing on the other side, straight out like that. Only problem is they kind of come out at different angles, so I can't just mirror it. I don't know if you can tell. So I also don't know how to weld, so that's going to be a little bit of an interesting endeavor. Yesterday I went ahead and bought this titanium flux core welder from Harbor Freight. I've been practicing with it. I made this little incense holder, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully I'll be able to fabricate an exhaust system. I was trying to be smart. Took some welding wire, twisted it together, stiffen it up. See if I could try to get something to bend to the shape that I want the exhaust pipe to be, but it's too flimsy. Also, it's come to my attention that I will still need to be able to access this battery, as for reasons unknown, it seems to blow out quite regularly. That's a lie, it doesn't do that anymore. It used to, but it still does go bad from time to time. And I need to be able to get it out, so if I have an exhaust pipe running, the easiest way to do it would be to take it and just run it straight out this way, out the side here. Problem is that it needs clearance to go in and out, so this is gonna be a little more tricky than I first thought. So I cut out this little piece of cardboard, marked it out. Basically, this is how much length there is to work with in order to get the exhaust to clear the battery. And you might be thinking, oh, that's not bad, just have it curve around like this. Problem is that this is the total amount of space to work with. There cannot be any pipe on this side of this space, essentially. So it has to have completely curved by this, which means it essentially has to make a 90-degree turn right off of this thing, which, I don't claim to be an exhaust expert, but I can't imagine that's good for flow of exhaust. So I'm gonna keep thinking about this. So I ended up Googling it, and it turns out you can in fact have a 90-degree bend in an exhaust system. It just increases back pressure, which, we have no excess of back pressure in this current system. Essentially, this is a little template I have made. So now I'm gonna make one for the other side, which is probably gonna be just a little bit different, just because the other side's a little different. And then I'll go to AutoZone and pick out the pieces of pipe, see if I can tack it together. Go ahead and finish up the templates. Not gonna lie, I eyeballed this perfectly. So, time to go get the pipes. So, I got me a couple resonators from AutoZone. It's literally just metal, there's no fiberglass or nothing. So I'm not sure how well it's gonna work. I also got some pipes of this gasket material and this like sheet of steel. I tried making the collectors out of aluminum and it did not work. I not only did I get the shape and the measurements wrong, but I also I welded the pipe to it, and as soon as it cooled, it just broke off. So what I have now, made from this steel sheet, this is a lot better. I also found this old gasket, and I only have one of them, so I'm gonna be remaking them with the gasket material anyway. But what this is a much better template for the shape that I need. So when I made these aluminum ones, I just traced it straight on the aluminum on the car, which was at a very difficult angle. And you can see it doesn't look right at all. It's totally fucked up. This is a much better shape. So I was able to use that to make this cardboard template, but then after I made the cardboard template, I'm like, holy shit, why did I waste all this time making a cardboard template? I just have this, I can use this as a cardboard template. So I did that. Basically the process is that cut out these from the steel sheet really thin. I tried to then drill out these holes. I was hoping one layer would be thick enough. Turns out it's not. When I tried to drill it out, it like twisted itself around the drill bit. So this is a complete one. Took two of them, welded them together. Super ugly. By the time I finally got the, I think right here is where I finally got it dialed in. Where it's still pretty ugly because I'm not good at welding, but it's better than the rest. But by the time I finally got the like voltage to wire speed ratio figured out, I was pretty much done anyway. So I just said, fuck it, it's gonna be an ugly weld. Now it's time to weld these two together and start cutting pipe. Nah, bro, the table likes it. Booyah. Spin 2. Got this one welded up. Not the prettiest thing in the world, especially not this side. But you know, it's airtight and it's strong, so. Got a little bit of a blizzard last night. That was pretty fun. Nice and freezing in the garage. Today, welding up this one. This one's a little trickier. So this one's a 90-degree angle. This one, the headers are shaped different. So this one's a little longer, which will make it a little easier, but it'll be harder anyway because it's not a 90-degree angle. It's gotta go at some weird ass angle. And I took it out to the engine bay and measured it out. So as long as these Sharpie marks line up down here, it'll be good. The tricky part is getting them to line up while I weld it, because you know I only have two hands. So this one is its own collector. A resonator on the other side is getting welded into the collector. This side, the resonator is just going straight to this. Like it's gonna be welded straight to the like the resonator is gonna make the corner instead of being welded to the corner. So yeah, wish me luck. First weld. This side is kind of ugly. This side though, I'm kind of proud of this one. Like, I know it's not a professional job by any means, but like, I mean, it's strong, so definitely better than anything I've done up to this point. Been welding for about a week. Also, now's a good time to show off this contraption I made. This is just practicing my welds. So you can see how hideous they were when I first started. And maybe this can help you appreciate how far I've come. Up here, this one's a little newer. Never polished it with the wire wheel, but it even still doesn't look half bad. Compare that to this. Ooh, much better. So I'm just mocking it up. This is the driver's side, and I realized something that I did not notice before. It can just rotate. So all the work that went into making sure that this was facing just the right angle was pretty much for nothing, because you can just rotate it, make it point at any angle basically until it's tightened down, and as soon as it's tightened down, it'll just stay at whatever angle it's at. So that's nice. A tiny little problem. See that the pipes line up pretty much perfectly. Turns out this should not have been a 90-degree turn. This should have been a little bit more than 90 degrees, but not quite as extreme as this one. The current problem is that they are at different heights, ever so slightly. So what needs to happen, it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but essentially what needs to happen is I need to saw this piece right here, shorten it by about 1 inch, and then weld it back together. Oh joy. So yeah. Also this will be fine. I just need to weld it at this angle and it'll be fine. It's been probably 12 hours total on this project. So we got some exhaust pipes here, both into the headers. Not the prettiest welds in the world, but no leaks. This one was a real pain in the ass. This took a lot of measuring, cutting, adjusting, sanding, welding. Yeah, got some exhaust pipes now. We'll go right up out of the front of the hood, off to the sides. It's time to mount these suckers. Little problem is that the bolts I got to replace the old ones don't fit in these holes, so having to drill them out a little so that they fit. And then I'll have to cut holes in the hood so that they'll fit out the side. Might not look like it, but it's cold as shit out right now. Fucking hasn't gotten above freezing for 4 days, and it won't for another 4 days. We're supposed to get snow a couple days. The ocean is freezing over. Not good stuff. Got these gaskets made from gasket material. Just gonna throw them on here between the exhaust pipe and the headers. So got them installed. Not perfectly lined up yet. It still move a little, not quite tightened down. Right now, there's 2 problems I can see that require this to be taken back to the cutting board for a little bit. One being that this bolt will not tighten all the way down because it's hitting the weld there. So I'm gonna just have to shave that weld back just a little. Others that notice, pay attention to this distance right here. It's basically just barely clears the fender. Over on this side, clears it by a good amount. So that space is about 1 inch. Funny enough, earlier I chopped about 1 inch off of a section of pipe, which I thought to keep, which turns out was a really good idea. Somewhere around here. Here it is. Not quite 1 inch, but after the welds on each side, it will be 1 inch. So what I'm gonna do is cut this pipe right here and weld this section between the cut. and just extend this out by about an inch, and hopefully it'll line up with the other side. So I set a quarter time lapse here, and while I was doing this, sparks were hitting me, melting through my pants, unpleasant stuff. Really was not great. So I decided to use an old sheet to shield myself from the sparks, and I did not realize, but that sheet happened to be soaked in oil. So I mean, you'll see what happened. It wasn't great. Made for a real funny video though. Thankfully, whole operation managed to go unnoticed by my parents, whose garage I'm doing all of this in. So yeah, enjoy the show. Here's a little instant replay for you. Sparks, sparks, sparks. All of a sudden, bam, I'm on fire. This was not supposed to happen. Fuck. No, I'll sweep up the ash pile before any parental units manage to find it. Fucking putting it out with degreaser, man. It's just a giant smoke signal, bro. I hope my mom doesn't look out the window. What the hell? Situation has been neutralized. It is now even colder. It's about 9 o'clock at night. Putting in the hours. Warming my hands with the fresh world. There's ice crystals on the top of the whip. It's that cold out. I can't wait to bust my knuckles on this thing. It's gonna feel great. So, calling it for tonight. I fired up the angle grinder for a little bit. And it was just too freakishly loud. I don't want to disturb the neighbors. But you can see it's pretty sick. It's gonna pop up out of the hood there. Just point off to the side. Same thing on this side. Yeah. That's what it'll look like. So that's the end of this project. Not the greatest welds in the world, but you know, you live and you learn. One day I'll make some nicer exhaust pipes, get some real resonators. These ones don't sound too terrible. Donnie, who was there helping me with this project, he said it sounds like a tractor when it's idling, which is hilarious because that's exactly what it sounds like. When it's revving, it's not too bad though. Most important thing is that it's a lot quieter than the straight header dump, and I already got a noise complaint from one of my neighbors once, and the HOA was on my ass about this car. So hopefully this will help address that situation a little bit.